Man, wow. This little comeback to making videos was much quicker than I thought it was going to be, man. But SCI hit me up. They hit me up and they gave me early access, yo, to the mode I really highly anticipated career mode, man, and character creator. So let's talk about career mode and character creator. Before I even get started, I do want to caveat this is still an early access build that we got. This is this. So what that means is this may not be exactly what you get on the February 12th launch. They could very well add more stuff. They could very well take stuff away. So just want to throw that out there. At the same time, I also want to say that this is not a gameplay oriented like update. Okay. So a lot of the stuff that I talked about in the previous video that I did, if you got a chance to watch that one, a lot of that stuff is not going to be in there. So I just want to kind of temper expectations before I get too far into it and y'all already like, the gameplay is no gameplay update. Yeah, that's not going to be there. Now there are some things that are in, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But let's talk about character creator, man, and career mode, specifically the career mode, and what you probably need to pay attention to when you first get started, especially as a beginner to it. It's not all cut and dry as you might think. So, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Let's get at it. All right, so I didn't want to do this the first day because I didn't want to kind of dive in while I was still kind of stuck in that like honeymoon period. I wanted to give it a solid 24 hours, really kind of dig in, find out what is actually important for you guys and what is something that you all are just kind of get in and you're going to learn for yourselves. So this is the Coach's Corner, man. You come here to learn something. So I am going to teach you guys what you need to focus on once you get started, and some of the things that you really should pay attention to, as I know there are some of you out there not just intending to just play the game but leave a mark really kind of on the community. I know some of you guys are like really hungry, so I think these are some need to know things that will help you in creating a good character right out the gate, so you don't find yourself starting a career and then starting over. So first things first is obviously designing your fighter. The character design is pretty deep, and for anyone who isn't into this sort of thing, can be a bit overwhelming. There's so much there. You could literally take hours kind of meticulously crafting their appearance. And I honestly can't wait to see what some of y'all come up with. And as a matter of fact, I would love for y'all to tag me on X/Twitter with pictures of your designs. I think that would be pretty dope. So y'all hit me up on there. Okay, so what effect does the character design have on actual combat? Well, it really depends. Of course, the weight will determine the division that you are in, and reach will determine the advantage you may have against your opponent. Now, I have been doing some testing with this, with height against, taller fighters. So being shorter and going up against a taller fighter. And it doesn't really seem to have a big effect. Like, taller fighters don't seem to be more subject to being hit by overhand punches. But I think some more testing is kind of required. The next part, though, is a big one. And that's your fighter's stance, their punch and block animations. Now, this is where you can really make your first mistake. Understanding that this game is truly physics-based comes into play here. You're ultimately looking for the ideal balance here. So your stance will determine whether you are a righty or a lefty, but the punch set will determine where your fighter naturally holds their hands. This is huge because this plays into how the physics of the game actually works. Your natural hand placement can not only affect what punches will land on you naturally, but can also affect what punches your opponent can have the most success with. In addition to that, the animations for your punches, of course, are different. So here is an example. Look at the body jab of the traditional stance A and the body jab of the traditional stance B. You are able to travel under punches with the A stance because he dips much lower. But in game, stance B allows for much more up on your toes, like type of movement style, something that you really can't get and you can't see as you're picking the stances. Now, one of the other parts of this is blocking. And this is kind of the big downside here, as you don't really have many blocking choices. There are only 3. But the same theory here applies, especially when you add in the fighting styles. The natural hand placement of your fighter plus the style of the punches combined with your movement will help you better create the perfect reflection of your fighting style. Now, when it comes to picking the actual fighting style itself, there are only 4, but each one offers either bonuses to stats or debuffs. That is all of them except for the boxer puncher, who is really kind of the jack of all trades, but a master of none. Now, the last piece here is the stats. You should take the previous things into account when you put in your stats in order to build your quote unquote perfect fighter. They should be distributed in a manner that will benefit not only your overall fighting style, but also give you an advantage. If you have a swarmer, for example, you might want to give him or her some speed in their feet so you can properly cut the ring off. Maybe some stamina and some power wouldn't hurt also. Ultimately, what you have is a good deal of freedom and room to create the fighter you really want. And this is actually what makes the career mode so much fun. It's taking that design on the road to collecting all of the belts, going through the amateur system, signing your manager, and getting into a gym. But the last thing I want to mention here for everyone just getting started, though, is the AI. Now, the SCI team, if you keep up with them on social media, the team in the past has hired new individuals to manage the development of the AI fighters. And I want to tell you right now that this is the closest I have felt to facing a human fighter since the game launched. It will adapt at certain times of the fight depending on certain variables. It will disengage if it's taking too much damage, or it will come after you if it knows that you're hurt. Now, I mentioned the AI for this reason. You not only have to design your fighter, but your fighter has to have the ability to deal with anything the system can throw at it. And each fight only gets harder as you move along. So design your fighter wisely and keep your skills sharp. All right, so before I close on this, I actually want to give you guys a couple of other little key insights to character creator and career mode that I know people are probably thinking about. So first, how many different creations can I make? So outside of career mode and just the character creator, you can make a total of 25 different creations. So, I mean, that's a lot, especially that's a lot of time to spend tailoring 25 different faces and different fighters. Now, obviously, it can be unlimited if you take and delete one and add another one, but you have a max of 25 that you can have in the bag at any given time. So that's quite a lot. Are you going to be able to do things like face scan and implement into the game? From what I've gotten, that's going to be a no. So, and I don't even know if that's something that's being looked at as a future add, but for now, it sounds like a no. That's not going to be in there. And then creator share. Now, if you have followed this channel long enough, we talked about creator share years ago. And back then, it was still a thing. Well, it sounds as though it's still a thing now. Something that they want to continue doing, but still haven't all the way confirmed yet. So it's not a yes and it's not a no, but it does seem more likely than not likely, if I can put it like that. At the same time, what are my thoughts on career mode. Is it going to be enough, right? Yeah, I think for now, it's going to be enough. Does that remove all the things that I said in the previous video that I would like to have in? Absolutely not. we still need all of that stuff in the game. But I will say this, I think in terms of just a career mode in comparison to others, I actually really like it. I really like it. I've had a great time with it. I spent a lot of time playing this thing yesterday, and I mean literally running on E with energy, and I was still trying to play it. Hell, I laid down and was thinking about other things that I kind of like wanted to do and like designs that I wanted to make. So I think right out the gate, man, I think it's a good thing to have when they're going to launch the game. Initially, I was thinking, no, don't do it. But now, after getting my hands on it, I actually don't think it was such a bad idea, especially with the AI updates. The amount of fun that you can get out of not even playing another human, but playing the AI alone. And the fact that the AI is a little bit challenging now. Before, I'd have it on Undisputed and just completely bully the AI, and it's not like that anymore. So I'm enjoying it. Obviously, there are other creators, man. I may actually put their links down in the description box below, man, so y'all can check out some of the stuff they had. I know they went really, really deep. I think Ricky J had like an entire stream as he was going through it live. So it was probably a good idea to check some of those things out. But my initial thoughts, man, I've been having a good time. Is it going to last? I mean, that's going to be for you all to decide. Replayability is going to be a big, big, big thing. But that's going to be for you all to decide. And y'all let me know. Once you get your hands on it, come back. Let me know. Do not forget to send me you all's creations, all right, on Twitter. Just tag me. Just tag me on Twitter so I can see those, man. But until next time, man, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.